Homie time. It's homie time. Homie time alert. Homie time. Shout out Microgreen, legendary map pick of Crisis Vector. Hope you guys are having a good time today. It is Weekend Wage Day, and I am back. I am still recovering. You will hear the classic Artosis cough, followed by... Sorry about that cough, guys. Which brings the cough to attention way more, and if you just, like, coughed and then, you know, said nothing, it would probably be fine, right? But... Anyway. Random... Give Artosis random casting advice. You know, he's only been doing it for however long. So I don't know if he's an expert or not, but... Coffee. Wow, those are some good cough puns, guys. You guys are... I'm very proud of this community. I'm very proud of this community. That those are my messages. Lazy Discord chatters. Hey, I also have a D&D session today, Green Eggs. Today is the day of D&D, apparently. But thanks for stopping in. Yeah, it's good. We got some exciting shit coming. If you guys don't know, I've been working on a co-op scenario behind the scenes. And that co-op scenario includes Nidus Trinity. Playable Nidus Trinity. So that's going to be fun. I haven't decided on the Zerg faction yet. It probably won't be Gazirith Tendril, but the Gazirith Tendril is getting the Garver Core, and they already have the Savra Core, so... Oh shit, it's Nicholas! Yeah, I hear Executor does a bunch of custom campaign, or campaign remakes and stuff, but I read the descriptions of them and they say, like, made the AI mine Vespine gas, and I'm like, yeah, they do that. I'm not quite sure. So, I haven't checked them out myself yet, but... I'm glad that people are making content for the game. I hope that he's having fun making maps and that people are having fun playing them. If he's taking them from the base campaign missions, I imagine the AI wasn't tooled to do CM stuff, like mining straight from geysers. Actually, you would be surprised, Green Eggs. You don't need to do anything for the AI to know to do that now. That's just like a... The AI just it's not possible to run an AI that wouldn't mine right from the geyser. That's not something you control from an AI script level. That's like a that's a different interface. It's like a straight up coding interface as opposed to AI scripting interface. So. Right now we are waiting on Hanmano's map pick. He needed 5 minutes to ready up. I'm also waiting, interestingly, to see if... Hamano's about to pick now. Apparently there's a 13th warrior here. A 13th warrior just popped in from Ziki. Yeah, I knew it was just going to be fucking Crisis Vector. Why did I even ask? All right, boys, we're going to get started on Hanmano. Hanmano v... Oh, I don't know. Yeah, that's right. Hanmano v... Supan. I can't believe that's a name that fits. That's pretty wild. All right, let's go. Crisis Vector. Posted up. We're going to watch some Hanmano. I'm a Hanmano casting merchant. I always cast Hanmano games, but this time it's versus a new guy. I think it was kind of versus a new guy. I can't remember if we had a new guy last time or what the matchup was. It might have been like Microgreen, so it was like newer. But yeah. It's a good one. And then we will wait for just to briefly tell you guys a little bit about the bracket here. We have Microgreen versus Grass Eater going on. Winner of that faces Ziki. So that's the Zerg side of the bracket. Hanmano versus Kutyam is what we're going to be casting here. Winner of that faces Art of Turtle. So that's going to be TVZ no matter which way it goes. Then we down in the lower bracket, we've got Godwheat versus Sevi. That's a TVP, which is exciting. And winner of that faces Arbuz. And then the last opening match is Nicholas being taken on by Sausage. Sausage, the higher seed there. Protoss versus Terran again. And the winner of that faces Newt. So that'll be interesting. I haven't seen Nicholas play in a while, so it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a very good time. And we're about ready to get into our matchup now. We're going to see how this one goes. I'm looking forward to it, guys. Spawning in the top left is Hanmano, our dark green Terran. He has picked Crisis Vector. What else would he pick? Kutyam Supan, I think maybe is how you pronounce that one. He's in the bottom right, our mysterious man from Hungary. Our second active Hungarian player, I believe, is down here in the bottom right. He is our... I'm gonna say white, but it was platinum. Yeah, I was pretty sure it wasn't actually white. It was an off-white color. And the platinum Terran. Listen, he's up against a Grandmaster StarCraft 2 pro player, so I don't know, platinum might not be enough, but maybe it'll give him a fighting chance. What do you guys think? Of course, we do typically do like bets and stuff, so I guess just for the sake of having a wild card here, we are going to see a mech from both players, so you're getting to see a little bit of his potential competency on display. So we'll go ahead and pop open the prediction UI here on Twitch, and if you guys are watching on Twitch, you can do... Wow, I can't believe I spelled that guy's name correctly the first try. I'm so good at this, guys. I'm just impossibly good at this. You guys have 2 minutes to place your prediction. Go ahead and do so however you like. And we're going to be watching some mech unfold. I actually have not caught any of Kutyam's games. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce it, by the way. I might have spelled it correctly, but that's the easy part. What is this map? I haven't seen it. Yeah, that's right, dog. Crisis Vector and first map pick named more iconic duo. It's not just that, man. It's every map in the best of ones. Microgreen picked it. I don't actually know if we've had any other... I don't know if we've had any other map picks come through yet. I'm going to go ahead and assume not. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Obviously, Godweed has map pick for his map against Sevi. But that one is not yet in. We'll see how that one goes. Picking in with our homies. Oh, wow, we already have a match result posted. Well, isn't that interesting? We also have our vultures are going to meet each other in the middle of the map. Kutiam being sort of jousted around here a little bit. He's losing the micro battle. He's got some vultures back home. Oh, he's not going to get away with that one, though. Hamano doing the moving shots just fine. Now, will he end up sacrificing his for the vulture stun? He does, but Kutiam is not on the ball. He's too busy. He's too busy back at home, making sure he's making steady vulture production. You know what? That's fine. You know, he's just trying to make sure he doesn't die. He has lost the first vulture, though. Oh, that stun is good. He needs to pounce on this immediately, because if he doesn't, he will end up being overwhelmed. Now, that stun ends up getting eaten by a dead vulture anyway. But remember, so we have these vultures here, but they're not actually waypointed down correctly. This Fulcrum up top not making anything. It's 2 vultures to 2 again, and we have, oh, actually 2 vultures to 3. This could very easily turn into a Hamano victory here. The mine hits are going to need to be really significant. Oh my god, I can't believe Hamano just went for it. Okay. This is also why, if you've already lost your first vulture, you probably want to put the Ministry on the high ground. You just can't do much else otherwise, right? And so we are seeing a hemorrhaging right now. A third vulture restocks immediately. We got a fourth one that Hamano isn't even using right now. Oh, forcing the cancel when it had half HP. That feels like it was maybe an unforced error. But here we go. The vulture sortie continues. Yeah, Kutiam knows he's been bested already. He's got to call GG. And 3.5 minutes in, the Korean takes victory. Poor guy. You could tell he was planning something there. He had some of the ideas down, but at the end of the day, man, it's just blink and you will miss it. So this is a best of 1 double elimination. So until we get to the top 4 matches, that's when we start. That's when we start really locking in and saying, okay, best of 3 now. So that one was over. That one's over quick. That means that we have some interesting matchups now. Let's see. All right, so that means we have Art of Turtle. And here. And then... I love TVZ. Classic. Hey, we got acid test. I dreamed TVZ last night, says Hanmano. Holy shit. That's my guy. Alright, I gotta change my name out. Art of Turtle versus Hanmano. On Patadia. Let's see if AOT's been grinding out the right way. Newt versus Nicholas elsewhere on the bracket is pretty sick. the guys are talking about StarCraft 2 players, and Hanmano's like, StarCraft 2 players so weak, they need to play more of this. Shout out my homie Hanmano. Don't forget to pay out the prediction. Yeah, I got you. I got you guys. Don't you worry. We're going to sign that one up in just a moment here. But first, pow! Art of Turtle, our green Zerg in the top left. Hanmano, our Zaffer, Terran in the bottom right. We are rocking and a rolling here, boys. This one should be a good match. This one should be a very good match. And, you know, I do got to say, obviously the Kutiyan one was maybe a little bit... It was over fast, right? But I think, you know, I was glad to see that he knew the vulture thing. Hanmano just went straight for the jugular on him, and you know, there wasn't that much there for resistance, right? Also, I don't think I've actually seen Art of Turtle play against Hanmano. Have I seen this matchup before? I actually do not know. Well, we got a prediction up here if you guys want to tell me what you think. But the Larvosk is already coming down. A different style than typically seen is Larvosk before Node, and he will be going Pool. So that's already kind of a quirk here. Hanmano, on the other hand, obviously rockin' Bio versus Zerg. He said he loves TVZ. He was dreaming TVZ. Kinda wild. Kinda wild there. Oh, yes, of course. Crisis Vector was picked by Ziki, by the way. If you guys were just wondering about map picks, Crisis Vector is constant. Keeping going, keeping going. Got to switch to Twitch. I wonder when YouTube will let us gamble like Degens. That is a good question, Art of Turtle. Not that you can hear me because you're not playing, but I just read it. You read your chat message there, buddy. Okay, expand. Anchor off of one stockade, too, and he's not even making Cyprians anymore. He's going Mavericks. All right, if you say so, buddy. A lot of quads, some Zeths being made. It's much more military-focused as AOT's production now. And he's going straight for the Vornath as well, which kind of points to an interesting style versus Terran. This could line up really nicely for a, you know, a bust. I like the wall that's being built up here, but obviously there is still an easy access way directly into the ramp. What's going on? Oh, man, I forget how to say your... Isn't it just Matt? Isn't that what that is in Cyrillic? Maybe I'll remember one of these days. Ministry going to finish up here. It'll be scouted out by AOT Zeths. He's going to be like, hey, what's going on over here? And then he's going to dodge... dodge back. Alright, so now he knows he can just move across the map. He's putting down his expansion at the same time. Is he going to make... No, it's not Vors, it's Nathracors. Okay, Art of Turtle was telling me that Nathracors are really good versus Terran. Well, he wasn't really telling me that. He was trying to tell Shopkeeper Dog that they can work. And, you know, he's already got 4 of them. So let's see what he does. Like, I have a feeling he's going to go after the main base, force an unload of the Mavs, and then run in with all of his ground units. This is a very committed military play. He's stayed on 12 Droleth for a long time now. Kind of wandering in aimlessly, losing a Quaz for his troubles, but let's see. Look at that, the third ministry as well. Hanmano, the greed. Outrageous. Stimming after, but look at what's on the front gates. Oh my god, Hanmano has no idea. He's got to clear the Nathracors, and that's just allowing the anchor to be blown open. What are you even going to do here, boss? Well, maybe he can still make a stim defense. This actually isn't as bad as I thought it would be for him, because it's mostly just the Quaz. Nathracors were not saved, or... No, yeah, they're going to be dealt with by the Watchdog, the one that stayed alive. That shuts down the Ministry, but remember, he's got 3 Ministries he can produce Masons off of, and he's still got a significant worker lead. This game will go on. He's stimming the Mavericks, and he's got the Masons for support. I love it. All right, well, let's see if those Quaz can chew through all of the Mavs. The stim ran out. Oh, but they're kind of trading DPS down onto the Masons instead. Yeah, that's going to end up falling a little bit flat there for AOT. Micro not favoring him. And just like that, the Zerg scum have been dealt with. Not great saturation just yet, and Ministry never got finished up, but it's pretty close to being so. And we're going to see AOT switch into something a little bit more defensive here. He's making 3 pairs of Zeths, but he's also adding the static defense at the natural, and he's just going to see if he can droll up. He doesn't have the best larva production, only 4 right now. And he's going to go into the Hydra which makes a lot of sense to me. I'd love to see him, you know, droll up a little bit heavier since he can be somewhat, you know, calm right now with the static defense that he's making, plus the fact that he scouted. You know, the stockades were only just coming up. The army size wasn't the best, wasn't the largest, and some of it was even whittled down a little bit. So as long as he sends some Zets across the map just to keep tabs on things, I mean, he's going to have the Khazit double Circuit. He's going to have, you know, I'm assuming he's going to be charging up to Bactylisks here pretty soon. Looks like a nice, comfortable mid-game transition for the Zerg, where he's going to be able to catch up to the worker count of Han Mono and not worry too much about scaling his military until a little bit later on. He really double CC'd, he's nuts, yeah. Hashtag nerf toss. Well, Jack, if you look at the way that AOT didn't do good army setup or micro or target selection or anything and then lost and you think it was a problem of balance, then you and I have very different understanding of the game. That's all I can say. That was never really going to work out. But he's got the Zeth run by, and he's going to be slowing down this push just by doing that. So that's pretty nifty, making 5 Izira Core 6 now. And Agrolith as well on the way. The Zets are going to go all the way in. Man, this is such good value for AOT. Han Mono totally caught with his pants down here, not prepared at all. And you know, some of the Masons that are making these stockades are going to get interceded upon. Oh, one of them with 2 HP, classic. Go after the Watchdog, not bad. Not as good as killing a Mason in terms of how much money you get for it effectively, but, you know, it's going to force him to either remake that or, you know, maybe suffer some consequences later. It's also putting a little bit of psychological manipulation on as the Agrolith is going to move over to secure the 3rd base, it looks like. Don't we love an Agrolith here, guys? 3rd base landed upon, but the Agrolith makes the Hatcherusk. Covenant on the way for Han Mono. That's his tech du jour, but is it going to be enough? That's what I want to know. I have lots of stockades here in a moment. The Izira cores by themselves are not going to be too formidable here. The clerics are actually going to help out a decent amount with that, but I don't think Han Mono can actually break this position. Let's see. I mean, the Izira cores have a really nice favorable engagement now. You can see them just explode in a shower of red, stimming after the rest, but there's so many. AOT just sort of mono-comping. And there it is. A total wipe of the bio. He's going to kill all the clerics too, which is kind of big. I mean, they are a little bit more precious units than the Mavericks, that's for sure. Preemptively evacuating the Masons makes a lot of sense. He's got the anchor here, but it's going to be torn down. Is it just... Okay, he's making Hydras now. I was going to say, is it just going to be Izira cores for the win here? Savants are on the way. So it should have about 5 of them by the time this finishes up here. But stopping the 3rd base from getting set up is good. He's got another hatch over here being made by the Agrolith, and he's going to start making Bactyls on the front lines. Well, Han Mono will have some good Savant counts soon, and at that point, you do need to start thinking about like the Tethvith Swamp upgrade, try to get to Apex tier for your tier 1. That's typically a good measure there of whether or not you'll be able to overcome the Savant menace. But I do love that the Zeta cores are borrowed at different bases, and, you know, just generally speaking, AOT's definitely getting a good amount of value for his rotations and his army. It's certainly in control of this game after wiping the army with the Izira cores. Not really much micro that Han Mono could have done to get out of that situation. Let's see if his dream of TVZ is going to turn into a nightmare, as now he's engaged upon. The Savants are going to start deploying. That is eventually going to turn the tide in his favor. AOT choosing to commit instead. Doesn't feel like he can actually overwhelm the Savants themselves, but everything else is dying around it. Maybe the Bactyls will eventually finish the job. In fact, there's only 2 left, make it 1, and now they're just going to ease through the rest of these poor Mavs. And it's not enough when you're not even fully charged. You cannot turn the tide alone. Not with 1 Savant. Mining disrupted. Making a Bactylisk out of that Hydra right there in the front. Forcing the lift. The Mason's not... They're a little awkward here. They're actually being paintbrushed down by the Bactylisk attacks onto the Ministry. He's got to shame him, but it feels a little too late now. One more Savant sniped away. Do we have many reinforcements? It looks like we do. AOT also going for that Tethbit Swamp, and he's got a huge bank, but I don't think he's going to need it. At this point, I think job is done. Up by 10 workers. No mining at the natural. He already canceled the third out. Poor Hanmano. He's going to need Eidolons if he wants to get out of this one. And even that won't help him now that Iziricors are here to be thrown headfirst into the lot and decloak everything. I don't think he's going to be able to get out of here, boys. Not alive. He's going home in a casket. Down to the lower bracket as AOT carves through him. That TVZ dream did turn into a nightmare. Hamano went for his crazy triple CC play, but he did not have the tech to handle the Bactyl Horde. GG. AOT pushes on through. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and report some stuff here. I believe this was... Oh, look at that. We have AOT versus Zeke. Who would have guessed? Who would have possibly guessed? Okay. Patadia going to be selected again by, this time by Zeke, and we're going to be seeing Zeke versus AOT. I'm torn because at the same time, Arbuz versus Sevi is going on, and I did want to see Sevi in action, but maybe we'll get to see them in a bit. This is going to be one of our last best of ones in the upper bracket, actually. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Smarty thought he was covering Zeke Turtle. Camera's shaking a bit. I was typing, so that probably was what it was. Earthquake. I love Savant. Amazing. The chat in Weekend Wages is always so epic, dude. I love it. Is it like that, Jack? That's me. That's my mouse hand. Yeah, shop dog, dude. Dude, I can't believe Nicholas was locked in a TVT versus Newt for that whole time. That's wild. Grass Eater picked fucking Crisis Vector. You fuck! It is mandatory, isn't it? Perfect. Now we will have our bloodbath, ladies and gentlemen. I do want Cosmonarchy themed cups. That would be pretty good. Imagine if that was first place. First place, you get a cup. A legit cup. We should definitely do that next year. TBH, TBH. All right. Let's go, boys! Let's do it. Microgreen defeated Art of Turtle in the last Weekend Wage, and that was a big surprise to me. Or maybe Microgreen beat Arbuz. Anyway, he beat somebody big, and I'm pretty sure it was AOT involved in there. And so he needs to find some stability, ZVZ, but he's going up against Zeke. This is going to be a hard one, boys. Zeke, our top left Zerg on Potadea, his map pick. We are talking about a man who is Redwood. No, Auburn. And AOT in the bottom right is just our regular old green Zerg. But he's anything but green to the project. He's been around for quite a while. I can't believe Grass Eater is confusing Nicholas in the chat. SMH, honestly. Guys, if you're new to Cosmonarchy or you don't know, we run pretty regular tournaments every other week. And I'm paying for them out of pocket, but eventually, you know, we might get like fan donos or whatever and then do them every week. That would be pretty epic. I look forward to these every time they come up in the calendar. And I think this is the last one I won't be able to just kind of hang out with you guys the whole day and do it. You know, I have to pop off in about an hour and change, so I don't have time to cover the entire event, but I will have time to cover the entire event going forward because we're changing up my schedule here. I'm moving to a different place, and so I'll be working a different job on the part-time side, and I won't be doing Sundays for it, that's for sure. But yeah, Cosmonarchy's pretty epic. We got all sorts of cool stuff, and we're going to have some tournament games today. We're going to have some casts of the other ones that we don't get to today on the channel later as videos, so check them out. Zeke is going for his Hydrath Den-based build, which he does like quite a bit. He loves a good Izira pull. He really only goes pool now versus Protoss, I'm noticing. AOT, on the other hand, is going for that fast Vornath again. He seems to like that build in versus Z as well as versus T. Earlier we saw him against Hanmano about it. Going on Muiki. All right, well, that's almost like Zeke. Maybe you're also Zerg here. Zets are going to be able to sort of dip and dodge, looking for a scouting report here. They will be able to confirm a hatch. Oh, actually, I'm not entirely sure they saw the hatch, believe it or not. The vision range is pretty low on the Zeth, so they managed to get in. He's just going to use workers to try to deal with them, but they will regenerate twice as fast while burrowed, so that remains a little bit of a threat. 14 quads, though, on the high ground. You're not going to be able to break through that many, I feel like. AOT might even be sort of like... I don't think he knows that his army is chasing Izira across the map, but... Ooh, he's got his Nats already. Man, it's kind of risky for him to show these. Or risk showing these, but it looks like... No, I don't... Oh, it's so close! I don't think he saw him, though. I think maybe the... Wow, that's actually going to be really important, because remember those two Zets earlier? He can set up for a really nasty timing attack. Problem is, he's being run down, and he's going to need to be able to make some more combat units soon, as these quads will not stand the test of time versus the Izira. Some damage will indeed be dealt. He's only got 2 more pairs on the way. Oh my god, he's actually going to be in a huge amount of trouble here. Izira have that multi-attack, the multi-target, so workers do not do super well versus them. Here we go. But look, the Izira were recalled to try to deal with any particular counterattack threats, and I just don't know if it's going to quite be enough. Finally, the Hydra then will be done, but I don't know if one Izira beats the 3 claws. I think it does, honestly. I think so, but it's actually too far away to be doing max damage. Its bounces were being targeted on other things. Back over here, Zeke only lost maybe 2-3 workers tops. Not great, but the Izira does get found out, even though it burrowed. You can stand over burrowed units to reveal them. And now we're kind of in a weird position where AOT down by 7 workers and no second hatch. Zeke definitely feels like he came out ahead of that engagement. And Izira are out for AOT now. When does he start pulling the plug? On the worker side? Yeah, on the military side to start adding more workers? That's the question. Oh my goodness. It's going to be a slap fight here. The quads are a little bit too close for comfort, I feel like. You can see the Izira dancing back and forth at maximum range, trying to get that a little bit of extra power, but now the quads are taking the bounces. Oh no. Well, he's got a couple more that just hatched, remember? And he's got 4 Hydras on the way, but I don't think he's done enough to the actual threat level. Yeah, oh my god, look! Zeke's just ignoring it. He's like, yeah, whatever, you got 2 Izira they're going to take a while to kill me. I'm going to go after your workers instead. And oh my god, the drill? No, it's not quite a drill. No workers have actually died yet. No, the Hydras are going the wrong way! They were rallied away instead of helping! Oh my god, I don't know how those workers stayed alive that entire time. Not a single one fell, but that was a lot of lost mining time. Zeke sending a worker on to the other side of the map as well. Mistakes are being made. But, you know, ZVZ, it's sloppy, it's crazy, it's wacky, it's kooky, but we're getting there to some kind of termination point, I feel like, unless AOT can finish the job with a bit of a all-in play with his 2 larva production. He's only got 2 larva every 14 seconds. Zeke has 3, going for the Zorkish Shroud. What does he have for combat units, really? Not that much. Although he's making 3 more Hydras on the way, and he's reinforcing with those few units that were out there. A lot of Zethar coming in. Those won't be too useful versus Izira. Maybe they can go after the worker line. It's a little bit chancy. It's a little bit dicey. At least he sniped the worker that was waylaid into the middle of the map. But yeah, I think as soon as he sees the army complexion of his opponent, massing up over here isn't going to be too fruitful. AOT's going to try one more attack, and then I think he's basically done. Got more units coming in. The Zeths sneak in. Oh, he's getting really good engaged on here, though. That feels really bad for him. He's going to end up losing a lot of the pressure that he might have been able to have, and he's going to have to call GG as that is going to be defended as well. Just too far behind. AOT falls, and Zeke. That was it. He just pushes on through to that best of 3 territory now, and we're going to be seeing how that bracket takes shape over time. But damn, son. That's a rough one. Feels bad for AOT for sure. So right now we have 3 active tournament matches happening, as far as I understand. We have... oh, we might have just had one that finishes. Okay. So we have to see... We see Microgreen bow out in the lower bracket. Sorry to say, sir. But with that, we have... Grass versus Nicholas going on. They are self-moderating that one. No admin was immediately free. We had... we still are waiting on Godwheat to return. And... let's see here. Yes, Newt. The bracket... I guess I should probably, like... grab some technology that lets me... stream my browser or something. Okay, we can't do it there. Here you go, guys. Quick browser check. Quick browser check. We have... this is how the everything worked up. This is what we're looking at for bracket, though. We've got Zeke pounding through. This was just reported here that Arbuz bested Sevi, which puts us at... and then we still don't know the outcome of this game. That's going on. Godwheat is going to get DQ'd here in a moment. And then this one was Sausage over Microgreen, which puts us at Hanmano versus Sausage. And that's the way it is. All right. So we are going to go ahead and host up for Newt versus Arbuz Budash. We go to Knife's Edge. I'll go ahead and get my overlay ready. That's usually a good thing to have. All right, winner of this will face Zeke in a best of 3. I don't think this is going to be our last best of 1 of the broadcast today, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a banger anyway. Let's do it. All right, lads. We're going to have a good, clean fight on Knife's Edge. Reigning Weekend Wage champion Newt took down Aud 64 2-0 last time around. Pretty epic to see that he was able to do so. He's going to be going for a very fast stockade here. Not as fast as possible, but pretty fast. Arbiz, on the other hand, in the bottom left, is going to be just working his way up the tech tree here. He's going to go for his... probably a Hydrith first, if I had to guess. This is a fun map for Zerg to try to defend on, so we'll see if they can find much success there. Oh, it's actually going to be a Larvosk opener. Okay, we're seeing a little bit of something new sweep through the Zerg openers. Cool stuff, cool stuff. AOT in the chat talking about that ZVZ against Zeki. Yeah, the line of damage that he had versus the Azira cores was really tight. So if he had those extra 4 quas, probably would have been able to stay alive there. Nowadays, though, we just wait to see who's going to face Zeki in that upper bracket. And AOT has a chance to fight through the lower bracket still. Newt going to be scouting the wrong direction at first. He's going to be going for a Hurakan and probably waypointing that into the mineral line of Arbiz. Sometimes he gets like 2 kills. He did that versus... who did he do that versus? He did that versus the Shambler. That's who I was thinking of. But he also did it versus Arbiz. So it's not the end of the world if either one of them dies. They've had to deal with it in the past, that's for sure. Larvosk in the pool, going for 3 pairs of Zeths. Kind of fortuitous here, timing-wise. You should be able to handle these Hurakans with the Zethar cores, but, you know, they're pretty good. They're pretty good units, the Terran Hurakans, so you gotta watch out. Going for second Larvosk, and just in time, ta-da! Gonna have to go ahead and take care of this guy. Lighten everything up. Look at that. Look at that flamethrower range. We love that. Just doing a little bit of damage for a moment. Everybody else is going to have to be pocketed or falling back. I actually love that Newt is pocketing these like this. This is pretty good. Mason is going to get surrounded and eaten alive. Munched on, but now the 2 Hurakans will strike. And we only have a couple of quas back here. In fact, only 1 pair of quas, and 1 more is starting. This is not a lot. Mavericks are going to deal with the Zets easily enough, so that part of the flank is no longer a possibility. But look at this! We got some Hurakans in town! I heard you liked roasted Droleth. How about 2 served up fresh? I don't know if he's going to be able to get another one. 1 more! Oh, 2 more! 2 apiece. Wow, double kill each. Wild. Yeah, Newt's going to be pretty happy about that. Going to go ahead and set up his expansion. Gun down a pesky Zeth. It was really hard, I think, for Arbiz to intuit that 2 more Hurakans were out on the map anywhere. That's something that, you know, it gets you in a map like this. You check the replay and you're like, oh, okay, all right. I just got to scout these close locations. Just wild stuff for sure. Love to see it. Yeah, and we can call it 5 Droleth kills because one of them is still burrowed, so it's pretty good. Ahmed is God. That's the new Pronogo is God from Nicholas. Let's see. I hope we can cast a Nicholas game live today. That'd be awesome. Mason Scout sees the army move out. He's still got just Maverick Hurakan. Oh, he's actually paused production on the Ministry. I don't think that was intentional. But maybe it was. He wants to build an anchor so that he doesn't die immediately. But I don't know. I don't think that this army can actually beat what Newt has. Maybe if it gets a really magical surround or something. He's going to go after it. Try to chew through those Hurakans. He just doesn't have the DPS, though. No Hydras. Armor a little bit too strong. Okay, now he's back to making the Ministry. Those poor guys are like, strength in numbers, boys. 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 And then they die. That's basically how that skit goes. Making some Cyprians here. Vornath on the way for Arbiz as he gets his expansion up. Has to recover from that economic deficit he found himself in. Did he ever pull that borrowed worker? No, still 5 worker kills, boys. Loading up 2 Cyprians. That's going to shut down this kind of shenanigan. But, I mean, the map is still kind of Arbiz's oyster right now. It is a question of, like, scaling now. Newt hasn't upgraded any of his production. He doesn't have any, you know, extra stockades. He doesn't have any add-ons yet. So it'll be some time, and we will see the Zeth drop, of course. So that's pretty good. Get some chaos sewn in there. Now, with the Vornath done, I actually don't know what Arbiz plans on doing. But, pretty big move out now. He's going to need to set up some static defense over here at the natural, I think. The unload with the drop should actually make these guys just get pulled back. Not the whole army, just a few of them. And I love that he's continuing to kind of dance around, but he doesn't want to corner himself, right? Especially walking down the ramp. You can get into an awkward position. All the Masons are immediately pulled. He burrows one. Pesky little guy. I love that. That's a value add move right there. Burrowing the extra Zeph. Like, oh no, but Ahmed is too good. Ahmed is God. Ahmed, find him. Ahmed, kill him. Unbelievable. Static defense set up, and we will have the Kalkir Lake up. So maybe we'll see some Lyra. Maybe we'll see some Kalka. Oh boy. Well, Newt still thinks he can just walk right in and kill him. I don't know if the answer to that is yes, but I don't really like this position here. This guy should be moved by an Ovaleth or something. More static defense being added. Yeah, we are going to see some Kalka. Okay. 2 pairs of Naths on the way. A star pad being constructed. Ovaleth was sniped inside the main base of Newt. He's not really projecting the power that he's secured into any transition point, right? He's adding the Vestry now. That's probably for Shaman, if I had to guess. Newt has liked Cleric in the past. They are a nice little force multiplier there, but we'll see. Ah, man. We're locked into a very interesting battle here. Third base on the way. Right on location. Zet's pulling in some of the forces to see what's going on. Then something just erupts from the ground and smacks you in the face. You're like, damn, okay, I ain't doing that again. Calculisks are assembled, and one Nathracor, who is undoubtedly going to die. Vorvs galore. 16 of them. It's like a cacophony of different egg sounds. And now the wraparound is going to occur. The Calculisks are open for business if they want to get targeted down, and indeed they do. Easy right-click there from Newt. He's also making a Valkyrie behind this. The Lyralis count is dropping precipitously as well. It is not looking like it's a full wipe, but the Cyprians were essentially body-blocked by the Vorvs that entire time, and it looks like it will actually be a successful clear for Arbuz, but he probably wanted to hold on to more of that military. Problem is, for Newt, he actually doesn't have a lot of military forces right now. Making a lot of Vorvs. We're seeing more and more military units being acquired here, and it looks like a third base will foment. Is he actually going to expand towards his opponent? That feels wild to me. First Valkyrie sighted, second Valkyrie on the way. Anchor at the third base location, not garrisoned yet. Nothing there to it. Double expand. Okay, 9 o'clock and the mineral only, probably. As soon as he's got the minerals for it, ironically. Zorka's Shroud being put down. All right, let's see. If Newt can hold back the tide, then we will go a little bit longer. We'll get into that multi-base gameplay that can be so satisfying to watch. But this is a very good timing attack, and that anchor is empty. The problem is that Arbuz doesn't necessarily know there's a third base already. I mean, if you see the Masons, yeah, he should be somewhat suspicious of it now. Only 2 Cyprians over there. That's not going to be enough to hold back the whole horde. And now, Newt's going to be spread a little bit on the thin side. Still, it doesn't look like Arbuz is ready to pull a trigger on any attack just yet. Adding that Zorka's Shroud. Double hatch going to be popping soon. Straight into the Olgorg, baby. Okay. We should see some Zorius get queued up here soon. But honestly, Gorgorkors would be a really good choice versus the ground game. The Valk stack unlikely to get high enough to kill Gorgs in a timely manner. Well, I say that. 4 Valks are doing a surprising amount of damage to melee air. Because you have to get into, like, shotgun range, you know what I mean? So you're going to get hit by every rocket. And it will add up. I don't know if Newt can hold on. Hold the phone. Let's see what's up here, because we haven't... The Valks aren't going to do a thing here. No Ant Seals either. Oh, I still feel like the Hurakan count is good enough, but the Quas and the Lyralisks trying to change my mind as they try to engage onto those Cyprians in the back. It's just not nearly enough, man. Total wipe. The Shaman keeping the Hurricanes alive. No dedicated pressure against them. And that's where you really wanted that splash damage. 16 pairs of Quas are being queued up. That's just chaff to stay the blade, to keep Newt at bay. Trojan's being made. He's got one in the natural just kind of floating around. Another one in production. And it looks like a Huracan just kind of scouting around and seeing what's up. He's going to scout this unsaturated mineral only. If he thinks that's the third base, he's fine. If he thinks that's the fourth base, he's like, oh boy. 7 Lekizalisks are on the way. 9 Lyra. Yeah, Lakis makes a lot of sense here, right? Because you haven't, even though he's got Ancial Tech, he actually hasn't leveraged it. Ahmed is god, dude. Can't believe he just 1v3'd for so long and almost got 2 kills. One more hit. One more hit, baby. Newt's stretched very thin here. His whole army's across the map. Tier 2 on the way for our Terran player. Well, not entirely sure what his game plan has been this whole time after the early game, but he's vibing into Tier 2 now. 5 Zorius on the way, and they can be turned into Ultra Cores. Let's see if there's enough time for that anyway, though. A Trojan is joined up. That's here to presumably sort of hot drop some units over. Mineral only going to be here for essentially buying time and space for Arbiz to figure out what he wants to do. His Lakers are not in position. Unless the position is to try to pinch down the army. Evacuating the workers over to the actual mining base is a good move. Zorius are here. Caught out of position. Gonna lose a lot of his bio as a result of that. Plenty of splash damage going live. The Zoryu's not in a good spot for that. Where's the burrow? Now here's the burrow, and you gotta start falling him back as soon as that happens. He'll clear maybe 3 out of 7 of the lake is there, but everything else goes down in flames. Zerg staying alive. 4th base. It's a treasury. He's going to transfer workers over there. We get the Zozark Gorge. Hell yeah, brother. Apex on the Ultra Core Tech node. Very rarely do you see the Apex control node come out in this sort of situation, but that's pretty neat. Now we're going to see the drops. This has been Newt's sort of pocket card here in so many cases. Natural, not really a great target. Lots of static defense there, but nothing in the main, nothing in the 3rd base, which is the first port of call here. Is he actually going? No, he's panning over it, but hold on. Newt can just unload here. Yeah, and exactly. Okay, all right. And what are you going to do? You have to respond to that, but you also have to preemptively cut it off at the pass when he scoops everything up. Well, a little bit of a awkward load up. The Lakers can get into a good position to burrow. Yeah, you can tell Arbiz wasn't actually expecting him to unload there. Like, I have Lakers right in front of me, and so he didn't preemptively burrow them. Still reasonable numbers of Cyprians in these drops. Remaxing on the Droleth. The Zozark Gorge makes an eerie sound when you finish it up, but eerier still for the Zerg player. All of the workers that are being heckled. So some economic damage is being dealt. They can transfer these workers to the mineral only or something if he wants some instant reinforcements. And oh my god, the Lakers are not in position to stop this. Gotta scoot it up. 4 Cyprians still at large. Left 2 behind over here, so they're gonna unload and mostly just die. And that's fine. At this point, I think they've done their job. Oh shit. He's actually unloading them too far away for the Lakers to help. I guess they'll help with the Huracan, but still, good damage here. Newt has almost double the workers. Has he gotten good saturation at his 4th base? The answer is yes, he has, and it's gas base as well. Captaincies galore, starting to add things together. Apostles, a Tinker's Tower going down, and he's heckling this extra base. The Nathacors are here to try to put an end to this. They're like, we've had enough. Say goodbye. Big force coming in. It is equipped with ant seals now. Don't have that much over here. A lot of burrowed Droleth. I think there was still that burrowed Droleth for a little bit there too. I wasn't really keeping tabs on it. Gorga cores are out. Ultra cores are out. Getting the Vorvs in on the action here. This is a really teched out Zerg army, but I don't know if it's in the right position. The Valkyries are doing their job, boys! The Valkyries killed all the Gorgs! The Cyprians are saved! Holy shit! G, the 1G! Arbiz, he can't believe it. Newt's taking him out. It's over, boys. Fuck yeah! Valkyries won the game! We love that. We love when Valkyries win the game. This is so good. That's so good. All right, Zeke versus Newt, best of 3. We can do that. All right, I got to set up for the best of 3 here. Zeke versus Newt. Map 1 is going to be Knife's Edge. I can't, Newt must sometimes feel like, what the hell, I have to play a Starcraft 1 Pro? That's pretty epic. All right. Sticking with Knife's Edge, and we are now on to a best of 3. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to experience a very exciting matchup. It is Zeke versus Newt. It is Cosmonarchy. It is best of 3. And Zeke has selected map number 1. Newt just beat Arbiz in a pretty nice macro game. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. We'll take it. We'll take it. And Zeke is our White Zerg. Newt is our Zafir Terran. Same spawns as last time, except for the fact that the Zerg is up top and the Terran is up bottom. And that does matter. You know, the rotational symmetry of this map means that different spawns are going to have different, slightly, subtleties that are a little bit different. I actually think maps like this are a little bit more even in terms of, like, it's one thing to say balance. That's not really what I mean. I think the asymmetries of a rotationally symmetric map from like spawn position to spawn position matter a little bit less. They're a little bit more even and a little bit less like sort of random decided when it comes to Cosmonarchy, because we do change a lot about the core mechanics of the game. You know, you don't have like mischance and stuff. You don't have to worry as much about air unit rotations coming in a certain time. Instead, it's like more drop focused play that you would have to worry about. So there's still a thing there, but it's not the same thing, and maybe not to the same degree as in StarCraft 1. Anyway, that's a super highly specific point. No Kagra spotted here by Newt, so he knows he's going to send his stuff over. One I0 core is started, but this Huracan is arriving with great timing, and Zeki's going to be like hands up off the keyboard for a moment, like, what the hell? How did you get this guy into my base so fast? A little bit of luck on his side. So immediately pulling 2 Droleth to respond to this. He burrows 1. That's actually really good. He set up a very nice defensive phalanx. Now you don't want to let it get away from you here. You can see the drilling helping him out a little bit. He is going to need to evacuate the workers. Second Huracan arriving. 2 more I0 cores. He's got plenty of I0 cores coming, so that part isn't that big of a deal. Ooh, they're sacked up. It's so juicy. Yeah, that's perfect from Zeki, though. Oh, it's beautiful. I don't know how he's danced around and only lost the 1 Droleth, but good God. I mean, he kind of overloaded Newt's inhibitors or something. Oh, no, he's still going for, though. Oh, he found some more kills at the last second. That's a tilter. That's 5 more Droleth dead. Holy moly. Holy smokes. All right. Well, Zeki's going to be in a very awkward position now. That third Huracan from downtown. It didn't matter, dude. It did not matter. We were all hyped for the micro. We were all hyped for the way that Zeki held that. And at the end, it all fell apart. All his juggling act. The glass shattered. And he's still got to find out where his opponent is. Ahmed is God. All right. Now, this many I0 cores, when combined, can beat this many Mavericks. It's just a question of whether Zeki wants to go for it or if he's just going to play from a deficit now. There is a proxy anchor. It's very funny. It means that Newt's actually going to be leaving his building. This feels like a bit of a mistake. You've already killed 5 Droleth, dude. You've already killed 5 Droleth. How much more do you need? This has given me shades of Newt versus Ayud 64, actually. He opened up game 1 with a lot of economic damage. It was still kind of a long, drawn-out game, but eventually he was able to do the deed. Based on some more harassment, based on some more things like that. There's no way Zeki thinks he's going to wrap around with the Mavs that he showed earlier, knowing that I have I0 cores, and then 2 Anchors going to float in, and I think Zeke's going to have to call it there, man. I mean, I could be wrong. He could find a way to defend that. But since then, you know, there's been enough reinforcements made at the choke here that the 4 I0 cores aren't going to do anything on the forward side. Oh my God! Oh my God, the Cestus too. Oh jeez. All right. Oh my goodness. Well, the push out is actually going to be attacked. Once again, you have God on your screen twice. That's Ahmed. Just powering through. Anchor's floating over. Now, this is as the I0 cores are coming out. So, this feels like maybe it's doable here for Zeki still. He's going to actually walk away. 15 HP only on that I0 core. There's a little bit of timing here. The Cestus is done, but it's not floating over. The Hatchos finishes. This looks a lot more doable for Zeki than I thought. I gave him no credit here, thinking he was just going to get bowled over by the follow-up cheesy attack, but it's not quite going to work out. Okay, burrows the wounded one. It's lit on fire now. That should be revealed there. Zeki... He's losing a lot. He's losing a lot here on the bottom. He's got more reinforcements where that came from. The K-Grid blocking the Cestus from landing. It cannot provide its power until it's landed. There it is. Now it's got the armor boost. Oh my God, dude. I've seen this go so many ways. I've seen this cheese happen at least two times before, and Newt is just so good with it. It's so calculated. The one borrowed I0 core getting bopped, the Cestus revealing it as it does detect. And okay. An I0 core drop is fomenting. He's going to just try to hold off of one base. He probably can expect that Newt doesn't have an expansion, right? Like when you got... This is a very committed move. Hydrith then turning into the next one up. And I have no qualms about that. The ski back will be on the way. The 3 Izzy drop could actually overpower pretty much everything that Newt has back at home. He's only going to have like 6 Mavericks. When he scouts that there's no ministry on location, Zeke should actually feel okay about this. Like, he's a pro, you know? He's been here before. He's been cheesed by, you know, players who aren't as good at him on a mechanical level or whatever. He knows what's up, so he can just go ahead and get a little bit of counter damage. It'll be a breath of fresh air, of relief for all of our Zerg enjoyers in the chat. Not a lot of Masons here. A lot was cut to make this happen, and now we're losing more than a few. I'm surprised he actually evacuates there. Feels like he could have just gone for the jugular on those worker kills. Maybe a little bit slow to evacuate as well. Oh, you don't want to lose the Avaleth. He could have unloaded there. Maybe he would have gotten all the Azura cores out, actually. Again, there's not that much here for Newt. He doesn't even have that much. He had no money mining for so long. Behind that, Zeke's making backdulls. He's going to try to bust out with that. He can actually bring the Avaleth home, maybe, for detection. Or he can make a new one on location. But either way, you know, just off of the one base. Let's see what he can do. He's threading the needle. He's being allowed out. He might need to unload one Azura core. Oh, 4 health. Okay, Zeke. All right, I see. I understand now. The plot armor has been revealed. You can't die. You can't lose in Weekend Wage. There's no Oya here to challenge you. Even this very committed early game attack, not enough. Well, there's a watchdog here though. Is he going to expect a watchdog ring? No way, dude. All right. The Azura cores. Oh, he actually does. Somehow he saw that. What the hell, dude? This man's cracked. It's like random watchdogs outside my base like a campaign mission, and I just know that because I'm Zeke. He did make another round. He's going to clear the last of the watchdogs here, and he did make another Avaleth, so clearly he's got aspirations and plans. Move out coming. Try to reinforce this position, but going around, it looks like. Oh, the liftoff is good. That's pretty smart, actually, from Newt. This isn't Starcraft 1. Those aren't just helpless turrets. They can lift off and go places. Bit of an elevator. Okay, so we see what Zeke's planning. No Bactylisks revealed there, I don't think, but he saw the tech for it. All right, the sandwich is going to be real. The problem is that it's coming at the same time as reinforcements are arriving for Newt. So this still looks doable, actually. What Zeke wants to do is just kind of power up onto his blade here, his saber, if you want to use that term. I don't call it a pizza slice, guys. Sorry, I'm not that hungry. But if he can get up to his blade and then sort of wrap around, I mean, he nullifies the cliff advantage, right? Ooh. Well, he's also going to be catching some reinforcements here. When he sees this much Zerg out on the map, he's actually going to try to maybe go for it. This could prove to be a little bit awkward for Zeke's decision-making, right? He's getting run down the ramp. That's giving up a lot of the advantage away from the Cestus. Oh, no! Newt's played right into his hand, I think. His army's way too small now to try to defend versus all this. Now, at the same time, he might be able to go after some worker kills or something here, but I'm not sure that the answer is yes. The Avaleth is body blocking with the Avaleth to keep those Hydras alive. And now it's just the Mavericks in that anchor left over. He can ignore that for now, although they can unload still. And I feel like it's over, man. There's nothing in here for Newt. His best laid plans. There's some Rambos inside this anchor just shooting Zerg down like nothing. Like a highlight reel, but it seems like it's going to be too much Zerg to deal with. He's floating over the extra anchors. He's got, what, 4 Cyprians in them? Eventually the wave defense fails. Well, there's 4 anchors with Cyprians in them, so that is scary. Third base coming for Zeke. Dude, he breaks out. He's on Apex Tier 1 at a 1 base situation. What a weird looking game this has been, dude. I am beaming with pride right now, guys. I just want you to know. I am so happy. I need to send this replay to a caster. I want them to know that, like, wild stuff happens in Cosmonarchy, and this is such a technical game. Like, because, you know, if you're not like me, as a caster, and you don't just know what's up with the game, and you don't know like all of these moving parts and what is all possible. And you don't know what all this means. Like, it doesn't have as much gravitas to it, for sure. This is the kind of game that, like, somebody needs to play the game for a month and then watch this replay. You know what I mean? Like, that they need that. They'll have a little bit of what I'm having right now, which is just like, oh my god, dude, the level of specificity going on here with some of the strategies, how pointy some of these attacks were, how slow going it was at first, and then everything came down at once, like with that Huracan coming in for 4 extra kills. Dude, it's so beautiful. I love Cosmonarchy. He's ninja expanding bottom right for his third base. This game has it all, dude. I don't think he's going to be able to break through, but hey, the Tetzoricors are going to be armor-rended. One of them going down immediately. The Bactylisks are basically unchallenged. The Huracan absorbing a lot of pressure there, absorbing a lot of shots, but it's not going to quite be enough. He doesn't even get through the whole front line. He's got Cyprians sort of daisy-chained up there, but it's not going to be enough to break through the Iziricors. And that felt like the last gasp there for Newt. He doesn't have that much going on now. I think Zeki's done it, man. I think Zeki's owned him. Got the triple expand going. He's saturated at the natural. I love Cosmonarchy. So beautiful. Vestry being added. He's on 6 Stockade. The Iziricors found the ninja expand. More Tetzoricors where that came from. There were only 2 in the last fight, and now there's 4. This is a powerful unit. Actually, breaking through the anchor line is maybe the least efficient way to do this, but Zeki shut down the ninja expand, so there's only so much he actually needs to worry about. He's adding the Zorkish Shroud behind this. What a wild game, dude. I'm still in a little shock. I should take this moment, since we have a little bit of a quiet point in the middle of the game. I'm going to shout out Delta Catamus. He sent me a ton of models to process, so we already have some new Protoss graphics shown on the website, if you guys check that out, indicating the incoming new graphics. Very cool. Very cool guy, Delta Catamus is. But he's also got a lot of Terran ones. A lot of new Terran graphics. I'm trying to think if any of them are on here in this game, but not yet, I don't think. All right. Ulgorg on the way for Zeki. So he clearly wants some Ultras. Giving some respect to him. Mineral only saturated. Good worker count. Honestly, great recovery from both players. They're actually in a bit of a macro game right now. It felt like Zeki could have slowed down this push, but Newt has been slowly powering through. You just can't count this guy out. He just keeps going. The little engine that could, it feels like. Seeing what's going on. It's a scary Zerg army, but it's not that big, honestly. Like, Newt can deal with that right now. Adding the star pad. Let's see what he can do with that later on. But base number 4 is up for Zeki and starting to be saturated. Worker production looking good. Starting to stretch the Zerg army off to the right side. Maybe try to sucker punch the mineral-only base from the high ground. Being preempted now by Newt. Moving a small little splinter force off to the side. But he is going to have to cede control of the high ground. This is very dangerous. Bactylisks on the high ground. Oh, and this is such a congested area, too. The Tetzoricors are going to end up getting cleaved pretty quickly, I feel like. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. They can't. Are they going to be able to bust through? The first anchor has fallen. It feels like there's enough Hurricanes here to deal with this, but are they positioned properly? I guess the answer is yes. Look at that. A decided win for the Bio. Attacking before the Zorius were ready. Before the Ultras were ready, and before Lake is as well. Hold on. Yeah, we still have a game. We have a legit game here. I can't believe it, dude. He's making Ultra Cores behind this, but he did lose a lot of his damage dealing, his spread damage in the Tetzora Cores. He'll take his mineral only now, I think. Or maybe he's going to skip over it for the top left. Yeah, that's where he's going now for the 10 o'clock base. Now pushing out. He's got no static defenses at these outer-lying bases. But a lot of Ultra Core is going to finish up soon. And this is a less efficient way to fight for Newt. The Hurricanes, when they go down, that brings down a lot of the DPS that the Cyprians can offer. But the Ultra Cores are still being annihilated. Slowly but surely. That Armor Ren really helping out. He's going to sort of fall back over here. There's more Ultra Cores where that came from, but the Hurricanes are still at large, and not really any easy way to deal with them. You have to take the fight, disengage, wait for the flame to expire. He's making a lot of Lakizilisks now. Is it too little too late for Ziki to try to break through? There's so much concentrated power here and so little splash damage. At best he's got his Izira Cores and Bactyl bounces, and Hurricanes are coming in from the left side. Hold on, I think Newt might have actually done it. Unless the Lakizilisks can actually do the impossible. No! After all that fighting, Ziki, he falls. Newt took it. Newt did it. Ahmed is God. Phew, what a game. Okay, that's just game one, boys. We got Newt picking next map. Wow. Damn, Weekend Wage winner going up against a pro. He bops him with that. I can't believe it, dude. What a beautiful game, honestly. I feel a little guilty that I got to cast that game, dude. That not anybody else. It was me. It was mine. I eat fucking good. Steak too juicy. We'll go Frosted Forest for map 2. Okay. True power. This might be the best game of Cosmonarchy I've seen. What's up, Kudion? Thanks for playing today. Hope you had some fun. Sorry about Hamano annihilating you in 3 minutes. That felt rough because it was really just losing first Vulture. I haven't seen that kind of gameplay in a while. Last time I saw that happen, it was Starcraft 1, so that was a bit shocking. I don't know how your game versus Sevi went, but I hope you enjoyed. No, Green Eggs. He's just talking about the fact that, like, the Shamans were literally body blocking, and you don't get aggroed onto non-combatants. So... that's what's up there. There is an Ahmed variant with Stimpak. It's called Ahmed. If you type spawn Ahmed, you'll get it. All right, lads, we're going in. Game 2. Game 2. Newt gets to pick the map because he's second seed. Ziki will pick Decider, and I hope there's a Decider. No shade against Newt, who is going to be instant stockading, by the way. Yeah, 7 stockade. Okay, no shade against Newt. It's just I love the way that he played that last game, I really thought Zeke was going to win, and then the Lake is... Like, the attack before the Shroud tech was there kind of hurt him. Now he's doing the same kind of thing again. I don't know. That's a little bit rough. Because the 7 Stockade is going to put a Huracan here before his Hydrothin is done. Let's find out if he's ready. Zeke, our Saffron Zerg? No, Lemon Zerg in the top right. And Newt, our Palatin... I'm going to say Japanese Violet, actually, but it was Dark Lavender. Dark Lavender, Terran. I was wrong everywhere, on all accounts. All right, Mason leaving the building. Stockade's finished up. I'm not shocked to say that Ahmed is on the way. He's already halfway complete, in fact. Oh, Lord, he coming. He coming. Hydrostan finish. Ahmed halfway across map. Iziracore start. Over under on workers killed, boys. What do we think? That's a spot bet we need to add. Actually, the Huracan is being pocketed at first. It's not sending it directly there. That feels... I actually don't know what's up with that. Is he? I think he's hoping that the Iziracores move across the map and then he can walk in unfettered. That feels a little scary because Zeke's going to make non-stop Iziracores. He's just going to kind of drip feed them out of the map. So, you know, the first one's sighted, so he sends in the 2, but he's got 2 more. He's got 3 on the way, yeah. So this feels like it's not going to do as much damage as Newt wants to do. Particularly since Zeke is so far afield. He's instantly going to start body blocking. I love that. More of them coming. Now the worker micro is going to need to be on point. If he can do anything like Knife's Edge. Yeah, only losing 1 worker. Oh, yes, only losing 1 worker. He pulled 2 off to the side immediately as well. And his Iziracore was shown the door by the Mavs. So only 1 worker lost, despite Newt's trickery. Chicanery. Shenanigans. I think Zeke's going to be happy with that. He almost won the game after losing 5 workers. So, you know, here he lost 1 worker. Surely he's a lock. We assume that there's going to be an expansion here for Zeke sometime soon. He does like that expansion. That expansion style. Already halfway done. Zeke going to go for an Avaleth. That Ministry is fast enough that Newt looks like he's going to be going into a pretty normal game. The drop for the Iziracores, it should be able to shut down mining for a little bit of time. If he gets even 1 worker kill, it's... well, I guess Zerg workers are worth a weird variable amount of money. Because sometimes it's like you lose 1 worker and it's such a heavy amount of your army size. Your military, rather. Like your war engine. Oh, Avaleth is going to have to take a different path. Army caught in the middle of the map. He might actually need to unload those Iziracores. I don't know how many more he's got in production. Only 2. They take 22 seconds a pop, so... Well, the Hatchrosk will be, like, maybe pressured by the army. Is this fake pressure, though? I mean, Newt is starting to double back. He has some Mavericks in position here. I don't think he spotted the Avaleth. Because if he did, he would just have the Mavericks all the way out to the side, right? But as it stands, he should be able to shoo this away relatively easily. Has vision on things. His reaction time could have maybe been a little bit better. Let's see if any Masons end up going down. No, doesn't look like it. He scoops up the Iziracores. So, yeah, not a lot of actual harassment done there, but the army does end up moving back. The Iziracores are pushing out. Starpad on the way. I was going to say that if he, you know, if Zeke manages to bop a few workers, I'd say that he more than makes up for the deficit he was put at earlier. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe you unload these Iziracores in the corner, as he does. He forced out the stim already. Should be able to do a little bit of trading here. And now he's thinking about charging in. Yeah, the way that army and the wall and stuff was set up, it didn't end up working out too well. Only killing 3 Mavericks for as many Iziracores, not ideal. But he will load up 3 more. Oh boy. Falling apart here, boys. Coughing, sneezing. But don't worry. Zero cores are here. Get them, boys! Well, the army's pretty close by. Almost sneezed. Don't worry. The Avaleth almost died, but it didn't. It's fine. It's all fine. We only lost 2 Masons, 3 Masons. Still good pressure from Zeke. Oh, he's going back in for more. Holy moly. Man, this is so annoying for Newt. This must have been what it felt like when he was doing it to, like, Arbuz and stuff. Finally lost a lot of workers, too. How sad. Not able to evacuate any of the Izira cores. Army moving across the front line. And these Izira cores are actually going to be able to trade pretty efficiently. Look at that! Oh my god! The Mavericks weren't stemmed until they were, and it didn't matter. Oh, they were eaten alive! That's horrifying. That is terrifying. If somebody showed me a combat feed of that, I'd be horrified and terrified. But I would not be able to stop myself because the mech suit that I'm operating within as a Maverick has control. I am but a vassal. A very snot-filled vassal right now. 4 Drolettes and a 3rd base for Zeke. He's adding more and more on the economic side, and I love to see the Zorkish Shroud coming. Bactylisk's on the way. Beating down the doors. What can Newt do about that? This feels very bad for the Terran. You've got no way to bust out. You need drops or something. But you're being dropped instead. 3 Izira cores will deal with these Cyprians just fine. Anchor has to be evacuated. Oh, it goes down, and so too do the units inside it. Just about. Your main base is under attack. Everything's falling apart. He loads up everything. 3 Trojans full of units. His last-ditch Hail Mary effort to 2-0 Zeke doesn't look like it's quite going to work out. He's lost all the Masons in his main base. Oh my god, Bactylisks killed the stockades. I can't believe it. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's repaired. Oh, I missed the drop. Sorry, guys. Too busy looking at stockades being repaired. That should actually bust the Hatcherosk. Hydras are going to come out here to try to clean everything up, but that forces Zeke's hand. He charges in, and he is more than happy to dismantle everything at home. Newt has to GG. Woo! Let's go, boys! We get a decider! Now, that game was definitely more in Zeke's favor for more of it. It was a bit less back and forth, but I still love it. All right, now we go to Crisis Vector 4-hour Decider, of course. Of course we do. Of course we do. I'm trying to look through to see if we have a report about Han Mono versus Arbuz. Are they still locked in deadly combat? I am sending a message to the players in Crown League. Let's go. Decider on the way. Ziki in the top left, our yellow Zerg. Newt in the bottom right, our Palatinate blue Terran. And he is making a Mason. Isn't that wonderful? Will he 7 stockade? I don't know. I don't know if the answer is yes. Nope, he's not 7 stockading, boys. We have a normal game! Maybe. I gotta get dressed for work after this. Can you believe it? I have to go to work and live through mediocrity after this excellent series. It has been wonderful. Thank you for joining me for it, guys. What a wild time to be alive. So Stockade on the way, Hydrothen on the way. Ahmed is God. You know how it is. I really can't believe we've developed Ahmed as God like that. It's just a statement of fact, you know? Like, I always knew he was a god, but he just charges forward, dude. He's wild. He just kills all the workers. Very cool to see Weekend Wage grow in terms of number of players as well. Shout out to all you homies who play for the love of the game. By the way, AOT has secured top 4 status.
I am a hero!
Yeah. Isn't that true, Drawn? Ooh, proxy anchor. Okay, we're going to see some cheesy. Some shenanigan. Be a Maverick Elevator. Versus the Izira Core move out is a little risky, but Ziki keeps one at home, and actually the rest at home. He sends one across. A fundamental building block of reality. Yeah, hell yeah, brother. You thought it was Spinors, but it's actually Ahmed. Setting up for an expansion here for Zeke. He's actually... I thought for a second he was already scouting around for drop, but that's not quite what he's doing. Sees no expansion. Yeah, I think this will be alright for him. He might lose a lot of workers, though. We have to wait and see. What? Excuse me? Dude, Ziki is God? Question mark? Like, how is he so good at figuring this shit out? He's sussing it out. He's like, wait, you don't have... What's going on here? You don't have anything. You have no expand. Wowie. Wow. Still stemming after. He could just burrow. But instead he's going to drill. The drill master. Still lost a lot of workers to that, though. That's despite sort of somehow preempting it. I guess that's like 150 IQ instead of 200 or whatever, you know? That's a hard thing to figure out, dude. What a guy. Well, that's a lot of dead Mavs, and that does equip him for an easier drop himself. I don't know that the Ovoleth was spotted by Newt, but he's now thinking about it, sending reinforcements up there. Mason has been dispatched to scout the response. Anchor will go back in to see what's up, and we will get some more Droleth after these Izira cores, after these brief Izira core messages. Mason in the middle of the map is pretty good. You can see Newt preparing himself for the drop, which is actually coming. Doesn't this make you want to have a Hydralisk? No? Okay. Boom! So the Ovoleth will be coming in. He's going to spot the enemy army before the enemy army spots him. Vestry off of just the 2 stockades. He's adding a 3rd one. This is actually really slow to spike up. After losing your first 6 mavs, it feels dangerous to do something like this, right? Because you don't have the biggest army. And there's a lot of Iziricors out there in the world, in the wild world. This could be a very unceremonious end to Newt's upper bracket run. I still can't believe game 1 was so glorious. It was also gory, but glorious. All right, Cyprians are out. They're not going to have a lot of time to get into the anchor just yet. He's going to try to hot drop them in. Bisecting where the army and the anti-drop squad is. The Ovaleth is here. That's going to draw some fire for sure. There's already some reinforcements here to try to bring it down. Forcing down the Ovaleth is a choice for sure, but you are going to lose some Masons as a result of that. Looks like he wipes it out pretty easily. And I think based on that, yeah, we have to go a little bit longer here. Zeke going to take his expand, go for base number 3. He's just going to try to contain with the Iziricors for a brief period of time while the Shamans start to help out. So both players still have a lot of play in this situation. I would actually give a slight favor to Newt in a all else being equal game, like if they were even skill. But we are expecting Zeke to pull ahead on the skill department a little bit. We'll see if the tactics of Newt are going to be enough to get him over the line. Adding a quarry. That's clever. Okay, so we don't see the quarry every day. This means that Taluses are going to be a factor. I'd love to see, on this map specifically, people use them just for those middle bases. You return to those neutral treasuries. Feels pretty good there. Couple of Hurricanes. If you can kill the Hurricanes on your way back, basically, that's really good. You know, when you see Shamans out, you have to full kill them. The heal is too good otherwise. Starting up his anti-bust static defense here. Maybe a little bit on the later side. His 3rd hatch is done. Only up to 4 larvae, then. He doesn't have the most larva production, actually. 4 larvae per 14 seconds. And it is very disjointed, right? Like, one of them is over here. So he's going to try to secure the ground outside of his natural choke, setting up those circuits. Bactals on the way, but not in a great number. So Newt is finding a timing here as he makes his first Talos. We'll see what he can do with this situation. This doesn't feel the cleanest for Zeke to hold, but he does get a pretty good first round engagement, sniping some of the Hurricanes. They're doing a lot of damage as well. Yeah, that's most of the front line gone here, so that makes this attack a lot less dangerous. Newt overextending, it feels like here. He's away from his Shamans as well. Now, with the Iziricors gone, it feels like now the Cyprians can really reign on this parade. But the Bactal count is high enough that the Mavericks are not long for this world. In fact, they can keep on peppering down the Shamans during this whole procedure as well. Zeke is being a little bit trepidatious. More Hurricanes coming in. These are worth their weight in gold. But there might not be much army for them to be in the front of. As the Iziricors come out as well, that's going to be excellent work done by the armor end, allowing the Cyprians to bust through them. But more reinforcements where that came from, and it feels like this push is going to peter out. Doesn't necessarily mean Newt's dead, but it does mean that it's going to be a lot harder for him to get much done. The last of the Cyprians falling. He does his best to focus down the Bactal count. The Shroud is a lot faster for Zeke this time, and he's already got some Zorius out. These monsters can take so much punishment in the early game before armies get to a huge size. Again, when we had like 28 Cyprians, even Ultra Cores couldn't step to that army. We saw that game 1. But we're a far cry from that right now. Only 7. Adding a couple more as more stockades finish up. SimCity not exactly perfect. And the Anchor's going to push out a little bit here to try to stake some claims into the ground, but I don't know. Ministry going to be heckled by the single Hydra. He's going to have to go ahead and deal with that somehow. I guess he can just task all the Masons onto the Hydra. Instead, he'll respond by pushing the army out. Good moves from Zeke, just kind of keeping things going. 2 Talos are starting to harvest off to the side. Actually, these Talos might get spotted out by that Hydra. But whether Zeke actually knows to start looking for them in the neutral bases, I'm not sure. Because people don't typically do this, to be honest with you guys. But it is happening. Extra Vespene being in Newt's back pocket. It does take some Vespene to make the Talos in the first place. So this might not be as open and shut case of it being wonderful as you would initially think. That's a lot of Zor use, man. Ulgorg on the way. So we are going to see Ultra Cores come out at a much faster time than Game 1. Three out of 4 of those reservoirs providing a ton of extra Vespene for our Terran player. He can use it to power up on Covenant, on, you know, something like that if he wants to go for it, but we don't see that yet. Maybe a little bit of static D happening over here at the low ground third. All right. Yeah, he's full saturated on that gas. Spending it down on all Cyprians. He just wants non-stop Cyprian production. And I don't blame him, necessarily. You know, what we saw in Arbuz in the best of one on Knife's Edge felt like a more strategically sound position to take when you're up against the composition that Newt was building. He was going for, like, Ultra Cores and Zarkavra Cores, and he was clearly thinking about Zobrialisks with the fully Apex Tier 1 tech node. But Zeke doesn't really go for that in terms of the game theory. He just wants to win with, like, a superior army positioning, with, like, a less teched out army in general. He's starting to nod towards Arbuz's style, though, with the Lake is on each base. Just to cause a little bit of trouble here. He still hasn't spotted the Talos over here, though. That feels like a problem. That's a lot of free gas, basically, for our Terran player. Khaz'Trith at the natural for our Zerg StarCraft 1 Pro. Playing in BSL these days. Anchor actually got lifted. We'll see if Newt wants to do something about that. He has a lot of Cyprians. This is actually over that mark, just over that mark that I was talking about earlier. 29 Cyprians rolling around. It's going to be one hell of a punch there, packing a huge amount of firepower. Drollets are going to go ahead and saturate at this base number 4 for our Zerg player. Rockin won't actually clear a Hydra. Confirmed, not God. Pretty close, though. Pretty close. Maybe if there was no micro involved, it would have been. Oh, that was a Larvosk. Okay, so this is a little bit dangerous here, right? And the Azeric are going to slow down base 4 for our Terran, but he is going to be targeting this ground base. And this is dangerous for both sides. An army wipe on either side here could decide the game, and thus the series. The Bactals are in a good spot. Some of them are on the high ground up here. Lake is trying to reduce the durability of those Hurricanes, and they are getting torn asunder, but the Bactals are not targeting units. The Bactals were not targeting a thing there. Ultra Core's coming in now. Some of them are still peppered down by the Hurricanes, and oh my god, they're trying their best. The Lake is spining down so many of the Cyprians, but the Shamans are out healing them all. He's got to step forward. He's got to step closer. Shamans deploy for that detection. They unpack. Maybe that's a mistake. Nope, they're able to deploy a little bit closer. Okay, just because Zeke's losing the space, look at his amount of money that he's got in the tank. He's got lots there, and this can still be a very costly advance for Newt. Well, looks like it won't be too costly after all. Still has a lot of Cyprians. 24 of them, in fact. And he did lose all of his Hurricanes. He's only got a few more back there, but to some degree, I guess if you just make enough Cyprians, you can use Cyprians as your front line for your other Cyprians. Feels a little bit weird, but okay. Now, this base did get Ninja set up. He's also taking top right. That will be the first port of call. That actually is good because it slows Newt's right side advance down, but still informs Zeke of what's going on. He's going to have his own Lake is by the Khaz'Trith. That's going to help out. He doesn't have a lot of Ultra Cores, though. That's really a concern right now. If he can get into a really nice position kind of early on, that can be a different story. Atlas on the way. Man, there's so much free gas happening here. Honestly, if the Terran wasn't able to win, I guess he's not actually technically mining from that bottom reservoir. Oh, a lot of Drollets getting bopped on the way to that bottom left base. This has not been spotted yet. We can call it 9 o'clock. It's not actually been spotted. So he's killed one base entirely and shut down this one before it was finished. And that fills Newt with some sense of power, some purpose, some kind of position here that forces Zeke to reconsider his options, to reconsider his moves. Make him more Ultra Cores. He's got so many minerals in the bank. I'm not really sure what he would spend it on at this point. He has no pool. I guess he could make a lot more Zor use. Ultra Core is moving through. He spots the gas harvesters in the reservoirs. That might clue him in on what's going on. But there's so many reinforcements here that 3 Ultra Cores, scary though they might be, aren't going to be able to do much. Now the Hydras come in to try to shut down that Talos. Might be a little bit too little too late. The Ant-Seals are out to reveal those Lakes. And the Khaz'trith will be easy pickings here. Trying to set up for a bit of a surround, but there's so much to surround. I feel like Newt might have done it. But let's see. Let's see if the Zerg can surprise us all. Seems like as soon as those Cyprians turn on the Lakes, they will be pinched apart, but maybe it's still enough to clear through the top. Doesn't look like it. There's just not nearly enough here. GG. Zeke has been sent to the lower bracket. And Newt, reigning champion, extends his upper bracket finals. He's into the grand final, ladies and gentlemen. Wild. Okay. All right. Rough stuff there for our Zerg. He did not have nearly enough crowd control for that. I think if he had assembled like a lot of Bactals, or if he had assembled a lot of Lakes, it would have been maybe a different story, although I do think you need Bactals there. I don't think you can use Lakes versus that kind of army. They can be a good supportive type of thing, but you need the Bactals to just kind of point at an area and do damage to it. And there wasn't enough there. So that will be a hard-fought victory there as Newt moves up to the upper bracket. The winner of Arbiz versus Han Mono, has it been announced? It looks like Arbiz takes the game. And we will be looking at Art of Turtle versus Arbiz Budesh for a best of 3. And so this will be it. Yeah, so that's it for me. I do have to get ready for work here in about 7 minutes. But I was very gladdened to see that series. It was a cool one. Pretty epic. And our bracket looks like AOT, the Arbiz winner faces Zeke. Winner of that faces Newt. GLHFGG. All right, that's me signing off, but there will be more Cosmonarchy to cast. There will be more action soon. I'll be seeing you guys very soon for that. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Peace.